So this is one of the first reels I use. This is a 50 LRS TLD 2-speed. I actually use this for live bait dropping for big red snapper or trolling. I have 60-pound line on it, so I troll with that for king mackerel. I use a large Yo-Zuri 8-inch or 10-inch lure. Next to this is my HX80. This reel here is an 80 wide reel. I got it spooled with a 100-pound mono. I use it for shark fishing. I got it set up on a IGFA 80 class Finwick rod with a 100-pound mono. I got about 1,000 yards on there. So I use that for fishing with big corks and live bait for shark fishing over the reefs. I've caught bull sharks, hammerheads, spinner sharks. All right, my next reel is a Penn 9500. I got a newer drag system cap on there. If you get the old 9500s, you can get a new drag on it, and the reel will be almost like brand new. I got this sitting on a custom rod for jigging and for cobia fishing. I'm using braided line right here on this one. Normally I use mono, but when I'm jigging, I want to feel that hit when I'm fishing in 200-300 feet of water. All right, this here, I got an Avit under this one here. All right, here's my Avit. This is an Avit 30. I got it spooled up with a 100-pound braid on there. I use this for bottom fishing. I got it on a Penn International rod. So I use this for grouper, big grouper, and big red snapper for live bait. That's what I use that Avit for. I'll take the cover off so you can see it a little better. But right there, it's one of my favorite reels to use for bottom fishing. All right. So when I'm trolling for big tuna and big wahoo, this is what I got. I got a Penn, or not a Penn, this is my Shimano Tiagra, excuse me. So my Shimano Tiagra, this is a 50 wide. So I use this for multiple things. I'll troll high speed with it. I do use braid. A lot of people don't for trolling high speed, but I do. And I also use this for shark fishing. It's really universal, and bottom fishing for big snapper. Super universal reel. Now this is my Penn. I got a Penn 80 right here. VSW. I got a 120-pound braid on there. I got about 2,000 yards. This is what I use for live bait for big fish. You know, for marlin, sailfish. I swordfish with it. I've only caught 2, but I do swordfish with it. I have a bent butt for it also, but right now I got a straight butt on it because I also use it for shark fishing off the beach. These are my kids' catfish rods. Some Berkley big game rods with some $20 Penn wrasse on there. Those are what my 2 little boys use when we go catfishing. Here's one of my stand-up reels that I use for shark fishing. This is a 9/0 Penn Senator, and the newer ones are high speed. So this one does have a high-speed drag in it, so it's not going to smoke when you get dumped. But I love using this for stand-up fishing for yellowfin tuna or live bait for red snapper, big red snapper. I'm not talking 14 inches. I'm talking 30 pounders, 40 pounders. All right, these are one of the reels I use here for amberjack. This right here has 80-pound braid on it. You can see the hook size on there I use for my live bait, but I fish pinfish and large mullet is what I use. I got it on a short rod, so it's really medium to heavy action. This is one of my jigging rods here. This is an Avit. I use this for jigging for blackfin tuna. I use a 6-ounce jig setup. Here's one of my other jigging rods. This is a Penn Squall 2. It's a little bit cheaper than the Avit. The Avit's drag is going to be a lot smoother, but this is good for budget fishermen. These aren't bad. So we use these for catfish and for blue catfish, but when we go in the ocean, we jig with it. You know, I'll put a 6-ounce jig on the end and I'll jig with it for blackfin tuna or bonita. All right, there's my TLD 2-speed 30 right here. So we like to use this for trolling. So I troll for king mackerels. I put a Yo-Zuri on there or a big spoon, and I use this for trolling for king mackerels. I got my Penn Squall 60 LD. This is spooled up with 40-pound test. I also use this for trolling for bonita, which I use for shark bait. I got it on a custom rod, got my name on it. But I use this to catch my bonita, my Spanish mackerel, and I also catch kings on it. But this is what I use when I'm trying to catch bait for shark fishing. This is my favorite bottom fishing rod, so I got a cover on it. Alright, so this right here is a Shimano that I got. Take it out here. If you can see it, it's a Torium. It's a little older. I've had this rod and reel for about 6 years now. And it works. Like I keep it clean, I keep it greased up. I got 90-pound braid on it. I use this for bottom fishing. For big snapper, grouper, amberjack. I love the drag system on it. It's just super smooth. Super smooth. It has a star drag. A lot of my other bottom fishing rods have leathers, a lever drag. This one has a star drag. I do like the star drag better. This is another reel I have. This one's tore up. This is a Shimano Dakota. I actually caught the biggest tarpon I've ever caught in my life off this. So I had to get the drag redone on it, and this reel's been beat up. I've had it for years. It was a hand-me-down, passed down to me from my grandfather, but it still works good. You know, it's scratched up, but it's not on the outside, it's on the inside that counts, so the drag's pretty good. This is a bottom rod that my son uses. Right here. Okay. This is a Penn 330 level line, and we're running 40-pound line on that, and we use that for trigger fishing and reef fish. For my son, he's 8 years old and has a level one, so it's a lot easier for him to use. All right, let's come over here and look at my spinning reels. I got my dogs here. All right. This is my redfish rod that I use for on my boat. It's a Penn Fierce 3, and I got it on an ugly stick, big water. 6-foot rod, medium to heavy action. I'm running 60-pound test on that one. I use that for live bait for bull reds, or I use cut mullet for bull reds. Let's get to my surf setup here. This is an oldie but a goodie. This is a Daiwa 407A. These reels are actually really, really good, and they last a lifetime if you take care of it. This is an older reel. You can get them on eBay right now for around $20 to $24, but we have it on a Daiwa beef stick surf rod. It's an 8-foot surf rod, and I'm running 40-pound line on it. My son uses that for red fishing. So you can see the rod there itself. And you can get those rods at any tackle store or even online, anywhere from $49 to $52. $49 is what I paid for mine. But that's a good, cheap setup for beach fishing. And some more of my expensive setups here. I got another Penn 9500. And I actually got this on an ugly stick, big game, 10-foot surf rod. It's a 2-piece surf rod. And this is what I use for big redfish in the surf when I'm fishing in Alabama. I fish at Fort Morgan on the very point where the Mobile Bay meets the Gulf. And then I have another 9500. Here I'm running 40-pound line on that one. And I run anywhere from 4 ounces to 6 ounce weights on it. And this is a 10-foot surf rod. It's just like the other one, it's just a little bit older. I got a newer one. But yeah, these are what we use.